Okay, so you're in a store. You've got two products in your hands, and both of them have some kind of eco-friendly label. How do you know which one is actually better for the planet? It's a real headache, right? Well, today, we're going to talk about a new kind of rulebook that's being designed to cut through all that green noise and give us some real answers.
I mean, just think about the chair you're sitting on right now. If it claims to be green, what does that even mean? Is it because of the materials, the way it was made? Can you recycle it easily? The truth is, right now, it's almost impossible to know for sure.
And that really gets to the heart of the problem. You see, the whole world of environmental claims is kind of like the Wild West. There's just no single agreed-upon standard for how we're supposed to measure a product's impact on the planet.
So what happens is, you have one company talking all about its recycled materials, while another company's only focused on its carbon footprint. Now, they might both be telling the truth, but for us, the people trying to buy this stuff, comparing them is like comparing apples and oranges. It makes it nearly impossible to make a genuinely informed choice.
But what if there was a common language? Like a universal translator for all these different green claims? Well, that's exactly the idea behind a new method from the European Commission called the Product Environmental Footprint, or PEEF for short.
Now, the PEF method is built on this really solid scientific foundation called a life cycle assessment, or LCA. The best way to think about an LCA is not as a single snapshot, but as the entire movie of a product's life. It looks at everything, from digging the raw materials out of the ground, to the factory, to you using it, and all the way to what happens when you throw it away.
So, the product environmental footprint basically takes that powerful science of LCA and turns it into a universal yardstick. It sets up one single set of rules so that everybody, every single company, is measuring environmental performance in the exact same way.
Okay, but here's where it gets really smart. Having a general method is a great start, but let's be real. Is it fair to measure a cotton t-shirt the same way you measure a laptop? No way. Different products have totally different impacts, so they need their own specific rules to be compared fairly. And this is the solution. Think of the main PEF method as a giant cookbook. It has all the general principles of cooking. But the PEFCR, that stands for Product Environmental Footprint Category Rules. That's the specific recipe. If you want to compare two different lasagnas, you need them to follow the same recipe, right? Well, that's what the PEFCR is, the official recipe for one specific type of product. And the whole point of having these specific rulebooks is to achieve four really important things. They make sure the analysis is actually relevant to that product. They make sure the results are reproducible and consistent no matter who does the math. And the big one for us, they finally allow for fair, direct comparability.
So, what do these rules actually look like? Come on, let's take a quick peek under the hood and see what makes this whole system tick. First up is something called the functional unit, and this is absolutely critical. It defines exactly what is being studied and for how long. So you're not just looking at one chair. You're looking at the use of one office chair for 10 years. This makes sure every study is measuring the exact same thing, which guarantees you're comparing apples to apples. And get this, the analysis is incredibly deep. It's not just about the carbon footprint. The PEFCR actually requires companies to measure a product's impact across 16 different environmental categories. This is huge. It means we can finally see the whole picture. So a chair made from recycled plastic might look great on carbon, but what about its impact on water toxicity? Now we can know.
The rules also do something really cool. They reward circularity. There's a special circular footprint formula that gives a product credit for using recycled materials to begin with and for being designed in a way that makes it easy to recycle when it's all worn out.
So when you put it all together, the standardized science, the product-specific recipes, all those comprehensive metrics, you get to the ultimate goal, results that you can actually trust. And here is the final piece of the puzzle that builds that trust. A company can't just run the numbers themselves and slap a label on their product. Nope. Before they can make any public claim using these rules, the entire study has to be checked and confirmed by an independent third-party verifier. No exceptions.
So, let's just sum it all up. The PECFR system is designed to transform those confusing labels into clear, simple facts. It creates data that is reproducible, comparable, and, most importantly, verified. This really could be the foundation for a world where eco-friendly has a real, solid, measurable meaning. Which brings us to the big question, right? If we had a truly reliable way to see the environmental footprint of everything we buy, would it change how we shop? Could a shared rulebook like this empower all of us to build a greener market, one purchase at a time? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so